No man had more reasons to be miserable than this one, yet no man was more joyful. His first time home was a palace. Servants were at his fingertips. The snap of his fingers changed the course of history. His name was known and loved. He had everything: wealth, power, respect. And then he had nothing. Students of the event still ponder it. Historians stumble as they attempt to explain it. How could a king lose everything in one instance? One moment he was royalty, the next he was in poverty. His bed became at best a borrowed pallet, and usually had the hard earth. He never owned even the most basic mode of transportation, and was dependent upon handouts for his income. He was sometimes so hungry he would eat raw grain. He knew what it was like to be rained on, to be cold. He knew what it was like to have no home. In his kingdom he had been revered. Now he was ridiculed. His neighbors tried to lynch him. Some called him a lunatic. His family tried to confine him to their house. Those who didn't ridicule him tried to use him. They wanted favors. They wanted tricks. He was a novelty. They wanted to be seen with him. That is, until being with him was out of fashion. Then they wanted to tail him. He was accused of a crime he had never committed. Witnesses were hired to lie. The jury was rigged. No lawyer was assigned to his defense. A judge swayed by politics handed down the death penalty. They killed him. He left as he came, penniless. He was buried in a borrowed grave, his funeral financed by compassionate friends. Though he once had everything, he died with nothing. He should have been miserable and bitter. He had every right to be a pot of boiling anger, but he wasn't. He was joyful. Joyful when he was poor, joyful when he was abandoned and betrayed, even joyful when he was hung on a tool of torture, his hands pierced with 6-inch Roman spikes. What type of joy is this? I call it sacred delight. It is sacred because it is not of the earth. What is sacred is God's, and his joy is God's. It is delight because delight can satisfy and surprise. Delight is Bethlehem shepherds dancing a jig outside a cave. Delight is Mary watching God sleep in a feed trough. Delight is a white-haired Simon praising God who is about to be circumcised. What is sacred delight? It is God doing what gods would be doing only in your wildest dreams. Wearing diapers, riding donkeys, washing feet, dozing in storms. It's what you'd always dreamed but never expected. It's the too good to be true coming true. Think about God's joy, which consequences cannot quench. There is a delicious gladness that comes from God that cannot be stolen, a sacred light that is within reach in the person of Jesus.